This is In Case You Missed It, your national agriculture news recap for the week ending November 29, 2024. Trump and tariffs were the two T words on everyone's tongue this week. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump said he'd impose a 25% tariff on all Canadian products entering the United States. That would take effect after his inauguration. Markets quickly reacted to the news. Canola futures tumbled, with the January contract losing more than $28 per ton in 2 days. The U.S. is Canada's biggest buyer of canola oil. Analyst opinions were mixed as to if Trump would actually make good on his threats. The Canadian Cattle Association said he should be taken at his word, as Trump's first term was marred with trade squabbles. Canadian beef and pork could take major hits, as Canada exports billions of dollars in live cattle and hogs, as well as pork and beef, to the States. More than 3,600 Canadian national employees have voted to strike if they can't reach a deal with their employer by the new year. The workers, represented by Unifor, began negotiations with the railway in September. The union represents CN's car technicians and heavy-duty mechanics. A CN executive speaking at Canadian Western Agribition said the company is still hopeful it can reach an agreement. The two parties are scheduled to resume negotiations on the weekend. Earlier this year, CN and Canadian Pacific Kansas City employees, represented by the Teamsters Union, briefly walked off the job before the federal government forced them back to work. And speaking of agribition, 82-year-old Gordon Frentz took third place in the chore team competition at Canadian Western Agribition in Regina this week. It was Frentz's first time competing in such a large event. Chore team competitions involve guiding a team of horses through a series of objects and tasks that simulate classic farm chores. For instance, Frentz and his team of Haflinger horses pulled a sleigh with 1,200 pounds of weight on it to mimic transporting a hay bale. Frentz said he intends to compete at more events in Western Canada and to return to Agribition next year. Find more coverage of Agribition at the Canadian Cattlemen website. In case you missed these and other stories, visit the Glacier Farm Media Network, news that matters to farmers across Canada.